Hi guys, this is Hero. How's everyone doing today? आज पता कैसे हो? आज सब कैसे हो? So today I'm discussing the D10 chart, okay, or the Dasamsa chart. Now, one thing about this chart is that people use it a lot for career, right? Which is great. I would strongly recommend using this for career, but they use it for the wrong, things related to career. What do I mean? This chart is not going to show that much what is happening on the surface, okay? Like I said, the D1 chart shows what's happening on the surface. Everything that's happening on the outside is shown from the D1 chart, okay? But how you kind of feel or how things are kind of karmically operating with certain things are shown in divisional charts, okay? Like, for example, with marriage, if someone comes or not in your life, that's shown from the D1 chart, okay? But how exactly things are with your spouse or some things like that, like how you feel about them, all these kinds of things, these are shown from divisional charts like D7 and D9, which I made videos on, okay? So you can throw this same thing when it comes to career. If you're going to get a new job or you're going to get promoted, something like that, I would strongly recommend looking at the D1 chart first, okay? The D10 chart is going to show a little bit more of those finer details, especially details like how you feel about things are happening with career, okay? I'll give you an example. Let's just say you're starting in Antardasha, okay? Let's just pick a Shani Antardasha, okay? A Shani Antardasha. And let's say in the D1 chart, it's exalted in the 10th house, and in the D10 chart, it's debilitated in the 10th or 11th house, okay? So it's in Libra in the D1, and in the D10, it's in Aries in 10th or 11th house, okay? This will show that in general, okay, so the surface, it's showing, okay, Saturn's exalted in Libra, maybe some opportunity can come. And I said Antardasha, right? You have to see the Mahadasha too. But I'm just saying in general, maybe some opportunity can come where you're really working with other people and stuff like that. Okay, let's just say you could get a promotion where now you're managing and being in charge of other people. Okay, you could say this. But let's just say now the D10 chart, it's debilitated. This does not mean that, oh, the D10 chart is like overwriting, or I've heard this word, like it's canceling out the D1 chart. Okay, it's not showing this. It's showing a completely different effect. So the D1 chart is showing, yeah, you're getting the promotion. But the D10 chart is basically saying, hey, since the Saturn's debilitated in the 10th or 11th, maybe this was not the promotion you wanted. Or maybe this, even though you got promoted, it's really stressful towards you. Okay? Or maybe still like you're still just not satisfied and you wanted like another different promotion or something like this, right? Maybe you're just not satisfied personally, okay? Or maybe, yeah, like this promotion is really hard to handle, okay? You got to look at other details. I'm just giving you examples, but I hope this kind of explained properly what the D10 chart is used for. It's not used to see if you're getting the promotion or not. It's used to see, okay, if something's happening in regards to career in the first house, how is it impacting me at a deeper level? Okay, most people don't care about the deeper level, but I'd strongly encourage you to care about the deeper level, okay? Because like I said, the example I just gave, yeah, the D1 chart is showing the promotion. You think, oh, great, whatever. But if the D10 chart is showing really bad stuff, it would be really nice, right, to be aware of this kind of stuff and to take measures to account for this, right? Same thing, let's just say, I know this is not related to marriage, but D10 chart, but let's just say you're married, right? If you get a really good person, but you're not compatible with them at all or something like that, you'd like to know both of those things, right? You're getting the good person, but yeah, sure, you're also not compatible and stuff, right? It's the same thing with career. The D1 chart could show that, you're getting this promotion or this job or whatever, or you might be losing this job or something. You might be changing jobs, which sometimes you might think of that as, oh my God, this is such a bad thing because I like my job. But what happens if, the D10 chart could show you that, wow, you're going to like the next job even better. It's going to karmically fulfill you even higher, or it's going to feel a lot more satisfying, this new job, right? Wouldn't you like to know these things? Okay, so but this is what's shown from the D10 chart. It's not basically indicating, are you getting a pay raise or are you getting fired or anything like this. It could shows some superficial things, right? Because every divisional chart, the external impacts every divisional chart, and every divisional chart impacts the external. But in general, it's more used for those deeper inside things. It's not used as much for the external things. Okay. Now the next question you might have is, oh, well, what happens if the lugna doesn't show any change, right? What happens if the like does that mean the D10 chart is just pointless? Absolutely not, right? Let's just say the D1 chart doesn't show any change at all, like zero in regards to your career, which is almost impossible because there's always a slight change that's occurring day to day. We just might not be aware of it. But let's just say hypothetically that there's no real major change shown, right? Yeah, sure, things might not change on the outside, but they could change on the inside, right? Like you could feel in a certain antardasha, yeah, sure, the outside nothing's really changing, but on the inside, you just really, really, really strongly feel this might not be something you are meant to do. Or the opposite, you might feel like, oh wow, I'm really being appreciative of this job and learning this, blah blah blah. Okay, just like with marriage, and I know I'm bringing up marriage a lot because I'm giving this. I'm trying to provide you guys analogies that you can relate to, that can kind of make you aware of the bigger picture. Okay, with marriage, you might not switch partners, but you might feel a different way about that person from day to day, or from antardasha to antardasha, or dasha to dasha, whatever. Same thing here. You should look, okay, if I'm starting a new period or whatever, take a look at the D1 chart, right? Obviously, to see is some external change happening, because that's what we all care about. But look at the D10 chart and see also, okay, yeah, maybe there might not be some crazy change, but maybe there's some internal thing that I'm being forced to become aware of and acknowledge, which can be very tough, right? Let's just say you're running a Pratyanta Dasha. That's showing some strong awareness about, hey, maybe this is not what you're meant to do. This does not mean, and let's just say the Lugna chart is supporting that you don't change jobs. This does not mean, right, that you quit your job just because you're feeling this is something you're meant to do. But this could maybe be a time to become a little bit more aware of something else you should learn or something like this. This is all kinds of stuff that you need to see from the D10. But do not, like I said, use the D10 to determine purely if you're getting a pay raise or not, okay? Also, one other thing in regards to career, just because I know a lot of you guys who click on this video are looking at career for D10. A bunch of charts need to be seen from career, not just the D10, okay? Just like with marriage, you can't just look at the D9, okay, or the D7. You got to look at them both. And I've said in other videos, the D9 is more the spiritual aspect of the marriage, and D7 is more the material aspect of the marriage. But there's other charts that matter too, right? Like the D4 shows how things will be in the home. The D3 shows your efforts, all this kind of stuff. And for those of you guys who have emailed me, those are the primary four things. There's a lot of you guys email me with in regards to some kind of relationship or marriage you have, and especially if it's marriage. I look at all four of these charts for the most part, especially if it's like a marriage. For the career, it's the same thing, right? You can't just look at the D10. The D10 is kind of showing how you feel karmically about what's going on, right? Because the 10th house is a lot about karma, like the karma you're fulfilling. So do you kind of feel like you're on the right track when it comes to what you're doing, right? So that's why the D10 chart is important for a career. But also other things are important too, right? Like the D9, the D3, etc. The D9 is showing kind of, I guess you can say, what you're learning, right? Or how you, basically the D9 is kind of showing just how you're spiritually operating throughout your life, right? But a big part of how you're spiritually operating is career, right? And especially because 9th and 10th are so close together, the D9 chart is also shows a lot of stuff in regards to karma and career and stuff, as well as the D10, right? Because the closer the numbers are together, there's a flow when it comes to the system, right? So the closer the numbers are together, the more synchronicities, I guess you can say, they have in general sometimes, okay? But this is why, like for marriage, it's D7 and then D9. But for career, it's D9 and then D10. But you could see that kind of flow. For if there's some problem in your house, I'd probably look at D3 and D4, okay? But you can see they're kind of together. This is don't utilize this technique unless you're pretty advanced or pretty intuitive spiritually, okay? And you might disagree with me here. That's okay, completely okay. I'm just sharing my opinions through these videos. Now, the D10 chart, like I said, for career, it's showing a certain aspect of career, right? Because career is a big part of our life. Okay, it's not just, I know, like the day-to-day society, we just kind of coin things as, oh, I go to work, come back, spend time at home, whatever. There's there's many spiritual components that are conducted in our day-to-day life that we are not aware of. So when it comes to career, yeah, sure. Like I said, the D1 chart shows what's happening on the outside. The D10 chart kind of shows what's happening, or how we feel karmically about how things are in regards to what we do. Okay, and we kind of attach that to career, because career is a very big part of our life as far as what we do. Because outside of career, the majority of us spend a lot of time on just distracting ourselves, unfortunately. This is, but but mostly, if what you do mainly involves your job, the D10 chart is applicable. But if you do other things outside of your job, that D10 chart is also going to show that, right? Like, for example, these YouTube videos, I do this, right? Like, this is something that I do. Yeah, sure, it's not my career, but it's something that I do. So I have to look at the D10 chart as well for that too, because it's showing everything that I do, like from a karmic standpoint, especially when it comes to things you do for other people, the D10 chart is going to show. I just want to make that clear. If you're doing some kind of volunteer work, you're gonna see that in the D10 chart, okay, as well as your actual job itself. But anything you're doing is going to be seen from the D10 chart. But also, so you can't connect divisional charts specifically just to external things. Like, I can't just say career is just D10, right? The D10 shows a lot of other things, and vice versa. The career is shown from a lot of other charts besides divisional charts, okay? D9 and D3, like I said, come into importance. I know nobody really looks at D3, even unfortunately, but that's showing your overall efforts. Okay, so how is your efforts? Okay, you could feel, for example, when it comes to career, you can feel real good about what you do, but if the D3 chart, your Dasha planet, is damaged, you might be super lazy in your job. Okay, even though you feel really good about what you're doing and you're doing the right thing on the surface. Okay, I hope this kind of gave you just a little bit of a taste of why, for certain external things, you got to look at all divisional charts, because these divisional charts are very spiritual in nature. And usually when it comes to anything big we do like career, there's a lot of spiritual components that are tied into that thing, not just whatever you blindly have read about. Also, like I said, I'll just give you one last example. Since this is on a D10 video, just with career, because I know a lot of you guys are looking at career, D9, right? You got to look at D9. You got to just look at how you're genuinely feeling about this thing, because D9 chart is the ninth, is the ninth house, you can say, right? And the ninth sign is Sagittarius. And Sagittarius, it's kind of like the beginning of the end of the zodiac sign. What do I mean by this? There's 3 sections of the 12 signs that are basically fire to water signs. Okay, so Sagittarius is the last fire sign, and it's the beginning of that last fire to water cycle in the chart. Sagittarius is number 9. So D9 chart kind of just shows, okay, how are things operating spiritually in my life, I guess you can say. But in specific is how are things operating at a 9th house or a 9th sign energetic standpoint, right? Because the 9th house just kind of shows everything you're learning in general. And learning, like I said, is a huge part of continuing the zodiac cycle over and over again, okay? So when it comes to career, let's just say, for example, your 10th, your D1 chart is good, right? You got this promotion or whatever. Your D10 chart is also good. You feel real good about what you do. Like, karmically, you understand the importance of that. But let's just say your D9 chart is okay. Okay. You could feel, and it's really general here, that what I'm saying, but you could feel that if your Dasamsa chart, let's just say you're running Saturn and it's an okay sign, you could feel that at a spiritual level, your job is not necessarily the most important thing to you, but it's not necessarily the least important thing to you, right? If let's just say your Dasha planet is Venus, right? I'll just give this one example. Let's just say Venus is doing real well in the Lagna chart, right? Let's just say in the Lagna chart, it's in Libra in 11th house. Okay, you got a promotion, you're now managing all these people. Okay, I'm speaking very in general here. Let's just say in the D10 chart, Venus is in Taurus in the 10th house. Okay, I'm giving also very general examples in own signs that you can relate to. You could feel that okay, this thing, this career you got, it's really stable, and you could really feel like you're providing stability towards other people. Let's just say through the management in your D1 chart, you're really helping your team become more stable. Okay, and you feel pretty good about it. I'm just saying, for example. Uh, Now, let's just say in your D9 chart, um, your Venus is in Virgo. Okay, let's just say in the 8th house. Okay, you'll feel a little bit of that taste, like, all right, when am I moving up again? When am I moving up again? This is still not good enough. When am I moving up again? When am I moving up again? Like that. Okay. Like I said, with anything external, you got to look at multiple charts. Now, I remember at the beginning of this video, I gave the example of, okay, if your D1 chart is real good and your D10 chart is bad, then you could get the career, but it could not satisfy you. It's satisfying you. The D10 chart is more satisfaction from a karmic standpoint, not from like an overall standpoint. The overall standpoint is seen more from the D9 chart when it comes to career, okay? But like I said, when it comes to career, a whole bunch of things got to be looked at. Mainly these 4 things: D1, D3, D9, D10. Okay, but they all show very different things, which I hopefully explain in this video. And I'm making more videos on divisional charts just to explain to you. But because this is a video on the D10 chart mainly, like I said, with anything in your life, not just career, but with anything you are doing, how do you feel karmically about what you're doing? That's basically, to sum up this video, the D10 chart accurately for what this title says, this video title says, what you're doing, career or not career, what you are doing, how do you feel karmically about that, about everything you do in your life, okay? So this is a pretty good video, I think, so far. I'm gonna wrap it up right here. So if you have any questions or comments, as usual, you can feel free to let me know. And until next time, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for watching.